Hey, my babes. Welcome back to Metaphysical Babes. If you're new here, my name is Kathy. And in today's video, I want to talk about one of the most powerful metaphysical principles that you will ever understand. Why your manifestations unfold in time. And you'll get to understand why time is not working against you. In fact, it is part of the unfolding of reality for you. And why time, when something is taking time, your manifestation is taking time, and it's not delay, but identity unfolding into form. And, I want to go into it a bit deeper and explain to you so you can apply it to your self-concept, your timeline, and your manifestations right now. Before I keep going, if you want to work with me one-on-one, there's a link in the bio. Reach out to me, okay? So let's get into it. I want you to understand how the universe unfolds in a sequence. And nothing appears all at once. If you can agree with that, then you will understand the importance of me making this video here. Everything in the universe reveals itself through a sequence, a process, a progression. Think of anything in nature, guys. A seed grows into a plant. A baby grows into an adult. An idea becomes a reality. So as you can see, right so far, everything takes time. So this idea of instant manifestation, it's because, I've come to understand that, okay, we live in this time of instant gratification. So people want to make you believe that, you can get something instantaneously. It's not impossible. But even that instant manifestation has a process. There's a sequence to it. So this unfolding that I'm talking about is called differentiation, which simply means becoming, evolving, revealing more of what already exists inside the whole. This is exactly what happens in manifestation. I want you to understand this. And you won't stress yourself over why something that you want isn't here yet. Because even Neville Goddard talk about the gestation period of the unfolding of your manifestation, of your desire, okay? And I also want you to understand that time is not waiting. Time is ordered becoming. Time is not random change, guys. Time is ordered. Order, has a process. Okay, time is structured change. We think time is neutral or empty. But metaphysically, it's, I'm going to explain to you. Metaphysically, time is the womb where your manifestation forms. Time is also the structure that lets the invisible become visible. It is also the identity unfolding phase by phase. So when you desire something and you becoming the version of yourself that can receive it, the universe isn't delaying you. You are in a process of ordered self-unfolding. Because anything in this world, in the universe, takes time, not because you are being delayed, because that is the unfolding that the unfolding needs to happen, and you have to allow it the time that it needs. So your identity also creates that sequence. Yes. That's why a lot of people talk about self-concept. That's why Neville Goddard said there's nothing to change but you, but the self. So your identity will determine the sequence in which your manifestation happens. So this is where manifestation becomes a scientific, and metaphysical. It becomes scientific and metaphysical at the same time. Everything unfolds as a scale or a series of expressions. Each stage is part of a larger, unified whole. When you shift your identity, You shift the entire sequence your life moves through. Every phase of your life, guys, every experience, every quote unquote delay, whatever, however you want to understand what delay is, okay, quote unquote delay is simply the next step required for your identity to match the final form. You're not waiting for your manifestation. You're becoming the version of you that already has it. Your manifestation is moving towards you as you are also moving towards your manifestation. I've made a video. I think I probably was one of the first person that mentioned that you are the movement. Your faith is the movement. Even your faith has a sequence. It's like you planting a seed, a mustard seed. Do you realize how big of a tree it gives you, that little tiny seed? The roots, how they expand. So you see, it's and every stage is intelligent. You cannot undermine every stage of the process of you, becoming that person who has what you want. Time and diversity, okay, is where, metaphysically or scientifically, you will understand why change is necessary. From, if you have to go, let's say you're driving 3 miles, you have to go to point A to get to point B. So you're moving and it takes time. You cannot get there instantaneously. In imagination, yes, but even that has an order as well. If you start imagining, you getting in your car, starting your car, starting the engine, and then moving your car, that takes time as well. It's a process. It's a procedure. It's a sequence. Even in imagination as well. So they talk about quantum jumping. Well, I don't want to mix, this with what I'm talking about here. And this is where people get it twisted. They're like, oh yeah, you can jump timelines and stuff like that. It's just instant. But even that instant that that instantaneous moment that you're talking about has a sequence. And there's change that occurs to it, whether you see it or not, whether you believe it or not. So change is necessary. Diversity exists because time exists. And I don't mean diversity in the sense that you understand it. As I keep talking, you'll understand. So you have to understand that without time, nothing can change. Nothing could change. And without change, nothing could manifest. So transmutation, something transmutes, is a change from one form to another. A thought starts being formless, and then it becomes, a form, materializes. So wanting something new requires becoming someone new as well. You got to transmute. You cannot want to manifest from an old version of yourself. Like what I mean by an old version, a version that was probably complaining all the time, being negative all the time. So becoming someone new requires also time. And I know that, some people might say, well, this is a limiting way of thinking. It is not. If you understand the science of it, time and space, right? I'll get to go more into that for next time. That's why time and diversity is where change occurs, So that's why the sun rises and it goes down. So that's diversity. That is exactly what diversity is. That is change. It doesn't stay up all the time. It goes away. And then that's why we have night, and then we have daytime, and then we have nighttime. The clock moves, whether you want to accept it or not. People are mixing too much stuff right now because they just want to start smart. They want to sound smart. They're mixing things up. I took time to read and understand a lot of things that Neville Goddard talks about. I don't think Neville Goddard ever said that you can get your manifestation right away. He was always putting the emphasis on you being the change and how it was necessary. And then the you diversified this is where, your manifestation occurs. And then this transmutation happens because as you are transforming into this new version of yourself, your manifestation also is transforming. And this is how you keep your manifestation. It's what I'm understanding now. You got to grow with this thing. Wanting something new requires you becoming someone new. Simple. Becoming someone new requires time. You get, you become the GOATs in basketball. I mean, let's take Kobe Bryant for example. He didn't become the greatest of all time overnight, like instantaneously. He practiced for that. He lost a few games before he could get to that level. Michael Jordan, same thing. He couldn't even make it to his high school team. But he made it, his thing to become the best. Time is not punishment. It's the mechanism of manifestation. Stop listening to people. This time it's Instagram days and TikTok days, so everything needs to happen right away, and then you're making yourself miserable. Why is that here yet? Why? Let me affirm, and then it's gonna appear like like some sort of like with a magic wand or something like that. You gotta give it time so that it could be whatever it needs to be. A plant is not a plant before the seed is planted in the ground. So this is why identity work matters more than trying to force a manifestation. Your identity is important. Your reality doesn't change because you beg for it, guys. Your reality changes when you change. And I've experienced that. When the identity shifts, the sequence shifts as well. And when the sequence shifts, the timeline changes. This is how you jump timeline. It's not something that occurs like you wake up and then you're like, I'm in a new reality. Oh my God, everything around me is different, like in a movie. Oh, wow. I went to sleep and now I woke up in a palace. I'm Queen Sheba. Like, come on. Let's not be delusional to that level of missing the point. The mystic teachers like Neville Goddard were trying to teach. When the timeline changes, manifestation becomes inevitable. Obviously, that is what quantum jumping is in essence. But don't forget, it's a sequence. Things have to move, things have to change, things have to transmute. Stop limiting belief. It's a fact. So the real secret of manifestation, if you learn nothing else today, learn this. Manifestation is not about forcing something to appear. It's about allowing your identity to unfold into its highest expression. Everything you want is already complete on the level of the whole, but you can only meet it through time, through your sequence of becoming. So instead of asking, why is it taking so long? Ask instead, who am I becoming right now? Which part of the whole is unfolding through me today? What identity am I stepping into? Because the more aligned your identity is, the smoother or faster or more natural your manifestation appears. I've had this experience myself. I kept thinking being in debt when I was trying to manifest being debt free. How am I going to think of being debt free when I'm thinking that I'm in debt? So you have to change and move and diversify yourself and become the one that was debt free first in spirit, in the 4D, so that I could experience it. And yes, it's not going to happen overnight for me to think of myself as debt free. And that's why people obsessively affirm, because they're trying to feel something. Don't forget about the somatic experience of this, becoming as well. Your body needs to get to that point as well. With your mind, your heart and your mind have to be coherent. That's what Joe Dispenza talks about. So you have to understand that because the more aligned your identity is, then of course your manifestation then appears. So your self-concept is important. This is what you have to change. And this is where you need to take the time. Let yourself become. Let the old man or old woman die and become. Even Jesus took 3 days to, raise from the dead. So what do you mean instantly? How are you going to become this new version of yourself, this better version of yourself? overnight if you've experienced trauma all your life. Yes, it's a decision, but it takes time. And do not beat yourself up over that. Really, do not beat yourself up over the fact that, okay, today you tried, it didn't work, then try the next day. Plant the seed and let the tree grow. Let it become a plant and then become a tree. Truly, guys. A mustard seed becomes a tree, but it was a mustard seed first, and you have to plant it. You have to let it grow. And when it grows, my God, do you know how marvelous that tree is and what it represents? It's not just about the seed only. When Jesus said, have the faith of a mustard seed, it's what also it becomes. It becomes this phenomenal tree. Do some research on that and you'll understand my point here. You know, guys, if this activated you, if this helped you to understand time, identity, and manifestation at a deeper level, hit the like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more metaphysical teaching from me. You know, honestly, I need to start going more into the metaphysical aspect of manifestation, of magic, of everything, you know, to really give my channel the real identity. So remember, you're not waiting. You are unfolding. You are becoming. Allow yourself to become this amazing version of yourself. That's the whole process. This is a journey here on this earth. And then your manifestation is already written into the sequence of your identity. It's there in you, but let it unfold. I'll see you in the next video, babe. Stay magnetic. God bless you. Let's continue to prosper together. Again, my name is Kati. If you want to work with me one-on-one, there's a link in the bio, or send me an email to let me know. Take it easy.